Hello and greetings, welcome back to Anno 1800 Crown Falls, looking at our, well, rather small and very not impressive looking scholar district for now. We still have a clay deposit that is blocking our way in the background there, so until I can remove this one I can't really expand over there because I don't know how to build it then. We still are, well, 50 minutes into the research there, and then we finally can move this. That is of course if we would stay at the same amount of scholars. We are not. So we continue with building us a few more scholars over here as well. This will allow us to, well, increase the amount of scholars that are being assigned to this research and thus also speeding it up. Very important so that we do this. While we wait for that research, I would like to prepare another thing, and that is our palace. Now the palace I'm going to place right up here in Crown Falls, where we have the Crown Falls, and the palace just fits in perfectly for that. We do have a lot of space here. Let's just check real quick for the palace itself how big it is, and there it is, right? There's the main building, the biggest building more or less. So we can really add a lot of modules in this area. That means also that I'm probably going to place the palace still a bit further up here, right? And this would still be big enough for everything, I guess. We can also just have the modules on it right away if we want to, here and here. And as we can see, plenty of space for all of that. This also means that I can still use this whole area for more city expansion. And city expansion we do want to have now. There we also have our lumberjack huts over there, and also some brick factories that are still working in the background there. That's fine. Let's get rid of the lumberjack huts now, off the sawmills, all of them. We don't need them anymore. We still have, of course, need to have a timber production, so I'm going to have a bit more of that over here. But not that much anymore, since timber is not something we need that often anymore. And we do have, well, I think around 2,000 something like that, 2,600 timber that we have in store right now. So let's just go with those three, and that really should be totally fine for now. And I might actually completely get rid of them at some point, because we can also just import them with the docklands if we want to. That's the timber production, and that makes available more space. And boy, space is something we really need, because workforce wise we are also getting into problems there, into troubles that I can't afford long-term wise. We do need more districts, and this is going to be one of them. There is a marketplace. There is a marketplace. I think by moving this one a bit further into this area, we completely solved the problem of no marketplace there. And I'm probably going to have a marketplace up here then in this area too. Let's just move this one a bit, and as we can see, we have dirt roads in this area. Dirt roads is something we no longer want. There's also the train tracks here that are possible, and I might actually just do this now because this is looking really, really ugly. So let's just get rid of all the dirt roads here, right? So this whole area has no connection right now, but that's about to change as we are going to put the tracks now into this area there too. There's going to be one power plant up there because the palace, I think, needs the power. I'm not entirely sure anymore. Anyway, engineers here do need power then as well, so it just makes sense to get this one over now right away, and then we don't face any problems in the future. This is quite expensive actually. And then of course here we'll need to make these connections as the wall is burning once again, as we can hear. And probably also going down somehow. Of course, it's never that bad. Let's get rid of these ugly dirt roads there and this road there. And instead, we can now just expand the train network then all the way up here, connecting this one to there. We finish the connection, and this one is looking strange. There you go. We have a connection here now. Now we have a connection, and now here as well. For now, we're going to, of course, once again need to remodel that a bit. There we can then actually get rid of the tracks here for a crossing, and probably here as well. Lots of carriages are on the streets there, by the way. Lots of transportation, it seems. And here. So this is basically just a road then that goes over like that. Perfect. And then we can just finish this one once more. And then we just happily continue with a bit more city expansion in this area. I think for those guys we do need a pub. It's been a long time since I actually placed a pub somewhere. There you go. So these people get all their alcohol.
Nothing's easy, is it?
And then we can continue here as well. Though we are close to the clay pit now. Once again, I can't move that clay pit. I will be at some point, not right now. And I will just need to move around it. Even though this is, of course, not the most beautiful looking district. So we should be golden with clay pit next to it. Let's also have a block here. And then a few more houses going up into this area. In blocks of 2, most likely. And this one. And that's pretty much the end of it. And just look at that transition. I love that from the farmers as we get more to workers, and then more artisans start to appear, and then the engineers, and then the investors. And then it gets really beautiful looking. I love that transition when you have a city building where, you know, it just does look realistic. The further you get to the center, the more powerful it looks, and the further we get outside, the more rural it looks. Of course, the palace, as it is rather far away, should not look slobby or anything like that where we have bad buildings around it. So these guys are going to be artisans and even engineers then at some point. So we need to prepare for all of that infrastructure that we need for those guys. Electricity being one of them, so that's what the tracks are for. Here we can have a few more buildings, and then it's really just the river there. I don't want to spoil the look there. I think these natural trees look fantastic next to it. There is, however, our industrial district, our industrial zone. We already have a bridge here with the train as well, and I might just have then another bridge over here to also connect these guys there. As we're getting closer now into the mountain area, of course. There's also the question of where we should then place the museum. That is still something up for debate. By the way, I'm also now purchasing shares here of Bente's main island. I'm totally sick of her ships harassing me all the time. She has taken this island here back, but hasn't built up any defense yet. So I hope that with taking over this island, I will drop her military score so far that she will be forced to go with ceasefire with us, the same as Princess Jing. I'm not annihilating her, but I want to, well, keep her at bay right now. I want to really keep or let her be passive, because I really don't care about these skirmishes anymore. At this point, we have a big city, and it's already causing a lot of headaches managing all of that. And then those ships that are harassing me all the time, or even taking over islands, it's just a bit too much there most of the time. This one, this is where we probably are going to have the electrical power plant. Then we could have a second one then here as well. And then we have, of course, this whole district. It's not looking good at all. It's just it just doesn't fit in anymore into this whole place. So what we're actually going to do here is, what is going on? Seriously, why are there so many ships under attack? There is another ship under attack here. It's a clipper actually that she's taking down there. I should be having quite a lot of battleships in the region. This one, we need another one that is protecting this harbor area up there. And I don't want to place any additional harbor defenses, because that is just too expensive influence-wise. We've lost the ship here, and I think I don't have a clipper ready at the moment. But I do have cargo ships, so let's just see where we lost the ship. There it is. And it's going to be... Actually, we still have 2 clippers available. Let's use them, because we don't really need them right now. Oh, she's now trying to take Tatum. She's not going to succeed. I don't think so, right? As the ship's already taking damage.
Your harbor is under attack.
Since we're also having a bit of a problem there with the workforce and stabilizing it with all the productions, I'm sending a full force now of books to Cape Trelawney and to Leary, where we're also going to need it. So those guys here are basically increasing the workforce by 50%, for example, here for artisans and workers. And then for all the residences, we have something that well increases 15%. This is really good for the engineers then, something like that, right? It's all workforce increasing for our buildings that we can use then in our town halls. Because what I would like to do as well is over here in Leary, well, Leary is getting a bit more busy than it already is, twofold wise. First of all, in here in the center of Leary, I would like to have now a town hall monument. I was saying that I would like to have something like that. It's a big city after all, and a big city does need a proper, you know, a proper town hall there in the center. Of course, it's way too big for really for these houses there, but still I would like to have it here and affect as many people as possible, so it would be right in here. Right, let's get rid of these thingies there, also off the street. and then we can have the town hall monument right here. It does cost me 500 more artisans once more, and as we can see, we are already negative on the artisans. This will not make it any easier. I still need, wait a second, it does reach the warehouse up there. So let's go ahead and have the next production working. So the monument foundation is finished. Now we need timber and cement. Well, that actually is something we can get over from Cape Trelawney or from Crown Falls rather quickly. We do still have a cargo ship available. Let's build us another one, as we do really need quite a few of them. This one, oh, and the airship can of course also get those items over wherever we need them. I think cement is over here. There you go. 150 tons. Let's make it 200 tons. I always like to have a bit more than what is necessary. And also lots of ships are coming in here with building materials already, because what we are doing now is we are moving this area to Leary. And we need to, well, I would like to look for the future there as well with all the trade unions that we already have working here. So there is one and there is another one. So we need to make sure that we take these trade unions with their items with it. Even though this one here is just really good for chocolate, I would still like to get this. Or actually, we might keep the bakeries, to be honest, in Crown Falls. But the soap production, for example, we can certainly move. The same goes with the beer production that we can also certainly move. And I think there's actually an item that gives breweries electricity. We might be looking out for that. Now, let's just check what we really have here. We do have rendering works 4. I think I'm going to keep them, but far away from somewhere else. And then we have the soap factory, really. And this is really important. They have this item here, Prunella, and she basically says you don't need tallow anymore to produce soap. You can actually use wood to produce soap, right? That is some gnarling knowledge or logic that we have there, using wood for that. Of course, we need to take that with her. We have 13 soap factories right now. I think with that we have a pretty nice surplus. Oh yes, that we are going to move over to Leary. But bear in mind, in Leary, we have lots of workers that don't have soap yet. So they will consume it. So we have the plus 19 and 1 we consume right now per minute, right? So yeah, it's a minor adjustment for now. But it's a one that is pretty important. And then of course we need to have the whole soap trade route. So it is in fact now in total 13, and these 13 I will need to move over to Leary. Where should we get the space from? I think here we have a nice area, right, that is available. We do have these lumberjack huts there still that I might actually keep for now. We have these potato farms that I'm going to move for sure though. This one, we can probably squeeze some of them in here just nicely. There is one, and then I'm just going to have another one here, right, that is using that area, and that's actually it already. I think there is still one more, and I think we can still kind of like squeeze this in. Yes, it has 69 out of, that's perfectly fine. Only 3 fields less than what is necessary. Let's build them, and now we can get rid of those guys and have all the space in the world. Alright, and in its basic formation there we have now the new industry districts in Leary, and each one of them has a trade unit as well that we can boost the surrounding areas. So there we have one, there we have another one for the malt houses and the slaughterhouses, and then the most important one here, the beer with the trade unit in the center that we might still need to move a bit. Actually, we probably will need to move it even further. They can't overlap though with the other trade units, so that's the important thing here, right? But of course we do need to have a rather big area of them, because they are going to provide electricity to my breweries then. There we have now the warehouse for this. We have a warehouse up there and we have a warehouse down here, so this is fine. 10 malt houses, actually we make 12 out of that, so the 10, and from the original 20 slaughterhouses we have now 28, so I do have a bit of a buffer there as well available for the future. We do have a pretty big storage for soap, beer and sausage, so this is full, so a bit of a downtime is actually acceptable, where we adjust, right? So we do have now in Cape Trelawney, do we actually get anything over there to Crown Falls that is important? We need logs for the soap, right? We do have, however, the hops that we are importing, I think, but we are importing all of that with the docklands, right? So there's no trade route that supports these guys. It's all the docklands. So the docklands is getting us in the grain that we need also for the malt houses. We have the pigs for the slaughterhouses, and we have the logs here for the soap. And we do need to make sure that we do get the trade routes for hops, logs, tallow, or well, actually not tallow, but that's the logs, over to Leary if we want to make this one work. We have the building resources, so I think it is now time. Let's actually say goodbye to all of them. There's the soap houses. There's the breweries. Oh, that's hurting. The breweries especially. And then there's the malt houses. And then there's the slaughterhouses. I think they're up here. There you go. The bakeries and the mills I'm still going to keep in this area. There is the trade union that we also no longer need. And let's actually, for the tallows, I want to keep them here. Otherwise, we would need a trade route for just for tallow to Crown Falls, and that would be a huge waste. So that's that. I think off it goes. That's really, really big, right? Let's get rid of these warehouses there. And let's get rid of all of these roads here, as we no longer really need them, except for this road here as a connection for now. So this is a bit of a cleanup here. And those guys, yep, let's move them into this corner there, just where we have the mine for now. All right, boom, lots of space. Let's also get rid of these roads there. Nice cleanup and more space for, well, whatever we are going to have here. We could have more city here. We could also have something like the museum up there, because I really don't have any decision on the museum yet. This one still needs the connection though. All right, at the same time, we need to build these things here now. We need to urgently build them. So that's the warehouse down here. We have the warehouse and the fire station then right next to that. And then we basically just start building now the soap factories. Quite a few of them. That's the expensive stuff. And I do have my huge collier. There it is with the items. Some of them I'm going to unload right away here. So that would be for the basic residences, for all of them. Workforce increase affects all the residences. This one here affects all residences and affects all residences. Right, and the ones that are affecting the worker residences, these two here, those I'm going to get to Leary. At the same time also together with Prunella, there we have her for the tallow. And then I can continue with my slaughterhouses. So we do have the warehouse, and then I'm just going to build the first batches of slaughterhouses in this area. So that we have 18. So that is the amount that we had in Crown Falls. And then I'm just going to, as a buffer, add a couple more of them. And we will also need to upgrade those warehouses here, of course, to accommodate for all of these carts that are coming in. Also going to build those guys, and I'm also going to upgrade those guys right away. And since we're running out of building materials, I can now unload everything that we have here then, or the additional products that we need. And there's the next cargo ship coming in, the little dread with lots of bricks, because bricks is what we also need. And these trade ships here, right? So we, oh, this one. There you go. And actually, let's move this one up there, because the little dread is going to be the first trade route right away from Leary to Crown Falls, or back, actually doesn't matter. In Crown Falls, we are going to pick up now what we need here. So that's the hops, right? That's the
fire is out of control.
The pigs and the logs. And let's get all of this over to Leary. There you go. And this will be the little dread. Off it goes. Actually, instead, no, let's keep it like that for now. That is number one. We still have the mold that we need to also work on. And for that, I will need another cargo ship. And we probably will need another landing pier here then for all of these additional ships coming in and out, right? So the mold houses, as we can see, we're actually pretty full on mold. I think that we are using grain, right? So I do need to have a new trade route. That is going to go between Crown Falls and Leary. And this one here is taking the grain in Crown Falls and getting this one over to Leary. And it's also taking at the same time now the first products that we have that are going to be produced then here. And that would be, this is actually a tricky one, because there's going to be so many products. It's going to be the soap for now that we're taking in Leary, right? And we are actually making this one full, because I think it's going to be quite a lot. And the scallop actually is waiting already in the harbor. Oh, and we've lost the battleship. Is that right? Down here, yep. She destroyed one of our battleships. No problem. Let's build us another one right away. Do I have another one in the region? I have. Let's attack, because this one's already almost down. And by the way, how's my shares going? One more share, and then we are in the takeover process of the main island. And this one here, also 20 seconds. We are now also, by the way, the captain of industry, since I've built another trade union. And what we really need to do now here in Leary is, and for some reasons we don't have any bricks anymore, so there's my huge colliery. What we can see already is we will need now some piers here as well, right? Otherwise this is no longer working really. The fisheries, they should be full. We are having a lot of fish industry on this side here, so I might actually remove them, these 4 here. They are not really needed, and instead we are going to have the pier. Bench is really ramping up her attacks again. I hate that. We need to destroy her while we can. Let's actually get rid of that, or while the attacks are not that strong yet. Lots of additional items now. And let's go ahead and have us the first piers there once again. So this one right here in the harbor area of Leary. Speeding up the loading and unloading. And then I could have another one probably here. There you go. Right, so that we have at least 3 of them now working for us. And I've also built the breweries already. There we have the soap factories. Those soap factories now get prunella. Off you go. So they can now get the logs. There's going to be a mass invasion of this warehouse now, because all of them want to get the logs at the same time. Of course, we're going to have another warehouse over here to make up for it. And of course, what we also need is we need to get rid of some of these sawmills now. And we also need to build some additional lumberjack huts on this island here somewhere. So up there we still have a bit of space, even though there's going to be the city. Up here we still have some space, and that I would like to use for our lumberjack huts. So that's 3 more. And we do have 7 now. One of them produces 4. That means we have 28 wood at the moment that we get in per minute. We do have a log consumption of 20. Perfect. So that's that basically. We can also upgrade now more farmers here in the original district that we started. And we need to, because my workforce is looking rather bad. So finally some more upgrades over here. Expanding the city size. Getting us the workers that we need, and that also allows us to upgrade a few more to artisans. We do need more artisans also for the town hall monument right now, where lots of artisans are being consumed. But once this monument has finished, of course, the workforce comes back into the pool. There you go. We might actually make this one positive there right now. There it is. Perfect. And in Leary also, as we can see, the soap factory is starting to work now. The malt houses are starting to work now. Perfect. The grain is coming in. The only thing that's still missing is the pigs. And the items that we got, I'm going to use them in the town hall monument for all of that. My next airship has arrived with lots and lots of bricks. Bricks is what we really need here to boost also our warehouses, because they are rather down, but I've built most of the industry now. Alright, so that is that. Ooh, that was a huge transition process, and it's not completed yet. But the reward is there. We have more building space that we can use for something proper, and another city district in Crown Falls. Yeah, well, the palace is still not really standing. Stay tuned.